Hello and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Race 4 of the Group 4 Championship. Quick look at the current standings. After 3 rounds, Demon R leads the way on 57 points, DGT League SGP in second place. Today we're going to be racing at the Dragon Trail Seaside. So let's have a quick look at the qualifying order. DGT League SGP took pole position. He's in the yellow and red car. Keep an eye out for him. Callum Paul Banks joins him on the first row. Demon R starts in third. So we're about to get ready for the start of the race. That it's 40 minutes long. Works out at 23 laps for the drivers today. So let's see how they get on. It looks like a bad start for the pole sitter and a good start for Demon R. Callum Paul Banks is leading the way at the moment though. DGT League SGP down to 6th place from pole position. I don't know, all that time spent on that livery, he should have been focusing on his race starts. By the looks of it though, Demon R has taken the lead from Callum Paul Banks and Steve F1 trying to steal a position as well. Callum Paul Banks had a very good start to the Group 4 Championship, taking victory in a Brands Hatch. However, he then did miss a race and struggled a little bit in Japan, but was able to take second place. Rich Blues there in a red car, sponsored by Kentucky Fried Chicanes. That's what I'm calling it anyway. Up to 4th place at the moment. We'll see how he gets on. DGT League SRI in the Citroen. It's an interesting colour scheme on the car there, SRI, that's for sure. But here comes SGP in his little red and yellow car. And what does that say on his number plate? I couldn't quite tell. Anyway, he's looking a little bit frantic from 4th down to 7th at the moment as Demon R still leads the way. Rich Blues, though, he's gone wide as they head up towards the bus stop section. This is not an area of the track you want to go too wide. And yep, the drivers realise that and slot into single file as SGP is still pressuring SRI for that 4th place. Now 4th place was cursed at the last race in Suzuka. We'll have to see if it's cursed here again today. So Demon R leading the way. Callum Paul Banks 3rd place. He's now being caught up by SRI and SGP and everybody else, to be fair. Aceman, he's at the back though at the moment in 8th place. We'll see how he gets on today as the race progresses. Regarding tyres, just so people know, racing tyres are available to all of the drivers. You've got hards, mediums, softs and super softs, and we're going 3 wide into turn 1 with Rich Blues, SRI. I couldn't see who else it was, but it looks like Nally's gone straight on. And it doesn't look like his car is moving either. That may be the end of the race for Nally, unfortunately. Yeah, SRI was caught up in that as well, as he's now down to 7th. Callum Paul Banks down to 4th, and he's got Aceman in the Bugatti all over the rear end of that Porsche. And as I say that, he drops back a bit. DGT League SGP, after having a poor start, is now opening up a little bit of a gap here to Callum. See if he can put a charge. He had fantastic pace in qualifying. He was I think nearly a second quicker than everybody else to take the pole positions. We'll have to see if he can transfer that pace into the race. Now I am doing commentary on my own today as Rich Blues chucks it up the inside of the Bugatti. Can he make it work? He's running a little bit wide. He braked a little bit too late, a little too eager to steal the position, and he's ended up losing it again. It's unfortunate, but I like the aggressiveness without any physical contact. Just don't take that into a sexual encounter. So we're on lap 2 then. Demon R still leading the way. Steve F1 in 2nd place. DGT League SGP, he will be trying to close that gap to Steve F1. And I tell you what, Callum, he is all over the back actually of DGT League SGP, and Steve F1 is just in the distance as Aceman is having a look and making a move. This will be around the outside of Callum Paul Banks and turn 1. He is slightly ahead at the moment, but Callum fights back in the braking zone. Is Aceman going to be able to do anything? Will he get any kind of switchback? No, he can't. In the background there's Rich Blues and SRI now closing in as well. Yes, so I mentioned about the tyres, so the drivers have the choice of any of the race tyres that they want. However, the racing super softs, they're the faster tyre, but they do not last very long at all. Meaning most drivers are probably going to be using the racing softs at this time. Some may go for the super softs at the start, but it will mean they will have to pit very, very early. Just a quick introduction as to who I am as well. I say introduction, we are now 3 laps in. I'm Dave from I'll Tell You What TV, an unofficial F1 podcast. So if you're interested in listening to me waffle on some more with my friend, well, it's my brother Steve and our friend James, then come and join us on the I'll Tell You What TV YouTube channel on Tuesday nights. As SRI trying to have a look at Aceman into the bus stop chicanes, but it's not gonna work. Now, we haven't seen the leaders for a while, and to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to see while I'm commentating on this. Looking at it though, it does look like the gaps are coming down between the top 3 cars, and in that, everybody else is catching up as well. I will mention that in this league, it is more of a fun league than anything else. You just want fun, good racing, action-packed, and that's what we've got. It's SRI making a move on Aceman. Aceman trying to make a move on Callum Banks. We're going to go 3 wide, are we? There's a little bit of contact, and Callum holds the position to Aceman. SRI though trying to go round the outside, he can't get it done, and here comes Rich Blues excuse me, capitalising on Aceman losing a little bit of time there. Yes, as I mentioned, DGT League are wanting fun, action-packed racing, and that's what we've got as SGP is now all over the back of Steve F1 as well. This is closing up quite nicely. So what that means for the league is they have a little bit of boost on, keeps the action close. It does mean, though, that if you're a really good driver, you can lead a race and pull away in a race. It just means that there will be action from start to finish. It makes it very exciting, that's for sure. And I've got a feeling my voice will be gone by the time I get to the end of this. Okay, SGP heading down to the hairpin, and I now get to see what's on his number plate, and if you didn't, rewind it or keep an eye out for it, because the little red and yellow car, ding-a-ling-a-ling, has made a move on Steve F1. He's now up to 2nd place, and we're 2 by 2 just behind them. Is that Callum Banks? Oh, we seem to have a little bit of a problem. There we go, footage going again. Yeah, Callum Banks and Rich Blues were side by side. Rich has had to back out a bit, which means Aceman has now stolen the position. Okay, this is frantic. SRI now down to 7th place, and I can confirm that unfortunately Nally is out of the race, and we do have a few drivers that have been unable to make the race today. Twilight, he has had internet issues on race day, so he's not been able to take part. Dave the Harp, Virgin just do not want to give him internet. They've obviously been keeping an eye on what websites he's been visiting and thinks they need to curb his enthusiasm a little bit. Okay, Steve F1 trying to fight off Callum Banks here. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Now, even though we're only 5 laps into this race, for any of the drivers that have started on the racing super soft tyre, they're going to be screaming enough by now, and I think that might be what Steve F1 is on. He may be on the racing super softs, so he's going to have to pit soon, I think. Those that are on the racing soft tyre will probably be able to go about 10 minutes into the race before having to make a pit stop. This is epic racing though. Callum Banks, yeah, his tyres are just looking so much better, giving him so much more grip through the uphill. Right, left, no, left, right, left. I will get it right. Is Callum going to be able to do anything under braking? Steve goes defensive. Callum, he's hard on the brakes, the car's wiggling around a little bit, and behind him, oh, Rich Blues trying to defend to SRI, has spun Callum Banks around. That's massively unfortunate for Callum, but respect shown by Rich Blues. One of the things the DGT admins do ask is that if you do cause an accident, just like Rich Blues did there, and you have spun somebody around, then wait for them. You will earn a massive amount of respect from the person, as Callum will have given some respect to Rich Blues for what he did after punting him off. He just won't have liked it for the punt. Oh God, yeah, naughty. Where's Big Ears? Don't you dare say he's in the car in front, because in the car in front is Demon R. So this now is a battle for the lead on lap 6. The pole sitter in 2nd place. Demon R goes defensive. SGP going to try and go all the way around the outside. Side by side they go. Demon R squeezes. on the mid-corner. SGP squeezes on exit, little bit of contact, but Rubbin's racing, so SGP now takes the lead. What's that say? Sometimes I wake up grumpy, sometimes I let her sleep. Oh, hello, me there from Hando. You don't know say it. It go like this. Sometimes I wake up grumpy, sometimes I let her sleep. Well, I wasn't expecting anyone to join me in the commentary today, but it would appear one of the Hando boys from the I'll Tell You What TV podcast has decided to come and correct me on my word usage. I can't believe that's just happened. Now, for anyone that does know who I am and has heard my commentaries before, you may have heard me do questions of the day and stuff like that. However, I haven't got a question of the day ready for today's race, to be honest. I didn't know I was going to be doing this commentary. Anyone that wants a question of the day, think of one yourself. Oh, I got a question for you, but I won't get the answer until the end of the race. What kind of question is it? Because I know what you Hando guys are like. Oh, it's very, very simple. What trainers do chickens wear? What the? But I don't want to know what trainers chickens wear, but I guess we'll get to the answer of that later on. Okay, into the pits is the two leaders, SGP and Demon R into the pits, and so is SRI. SRI having used the racing super soft tyre, so it took them just as long as the two leaders did take the soft compound tyre. Steve F1 then now leads the race. And just give you a bit of a heads up about the information on the screen. Obviously we've got the timing tower on the left hand side. That's going to keep you updated as to who is in what position. And when people pit, it'll tell you what tyres they are getting rid of. On the right hand side is the lap times of whichever driver we are following. So you will see that change around a little bit. So Demon R, having made his pit stop, has come out and behind SGP, but SGP is not far away from Callum Paul Banks. Steve F1 though still leading the race, and he's got Ace Man in that beautifully liveried Bugatti hunting him down. Now Steve F1 has used this Aston Martin with his lovingly created livery in every round so far. Is Ace Man going to go for the move here? Yes, he is, up the inside. Trying to go late on the brakes, using that air brake, but he's slowed down a little bit too much, is he? Yes, he has. Steve F1 holds it around the outside, but who's going to take the entry to the bus stop chicane? It's Steve F1. Now that Bugatti is pretty quick in a straight line, and although it's four-wheel drive, it hasn't actually got the greatest of acceleration, whereas the Aston Martin is phenomenally fast in a straight line and has fairly good acceleration, to be honest. Now, Noddy's car, I think I might just call SGP Noddy from now on in this race. His car is a car that I didn't even know was available. Oh, Steve F1 going into the pit, so is Ace Man. No, he's not. Ace Man has stayed out. That's going to allow SGP to have a slipstream. Callum Paul Banks is being passed now by Demon R, but Callum has not pitted yet. Demon R has. Callum's going to pull into the slipstream. Yes, I was mentioning this. SGP, or Noddy, gets the slipstream off Ace Man. Is he about to take the lead of the race? Yes, he is, through what I would call turn one. And now Demon R is going to have to dispatch Ace Man as quickly as possible if he wants to keep the fight with the current race leader. So Steve F1, having pitted, has come out at the back, but he won't be too worried about that. Oh, Ace Man, he's run a little bit wide. Demon R up alongside him. That's Demon R now into second place, and Callum Paul Banks is trying to follow him through. Ace Man and Callum, neither have pitted yet, so they are racing for position. But Callum's ran a little bit wide though. Is he going to suffer on the curbs? He might do. Oh no, Ace Man, he's ran wide on the right-hander. And yeah, he's losing two more places. So yeah, Ace Man lost a lot of play. He's going to lose a position to Rich Blues as well. Rich Blues did not know he was going to be given a gift today, but he's just got one. It ain't Christmas yet, but it soon will be. SRI though, with Callum struggling with his tyres, SRI is now all over the back of him. He's going to go up the inside into the bus stop chicane, side by side. No, SRI has to back out of it. And that is a fantastic section of this racetrack, by the way, folks. In some cars, you can take it flat out. Some need a little bit of a lift. So SRI wasn't able to make the move on that occasion. Callum, his rear end is looking like it's squirming about a little bit. SRI will be liking that. But is Callum, is he going to be heading into the pits? No, he's not. He's continuing on. So Callum trying to do maybe one stop less than the main competitors. Ace Man trying to get himself back in the fight with Rich Blues, but Steve F1, number 25, I doubt that's his age. I've seen his picture. Yes, so Steve F1 trying to make a move. He's going to get gifted a position from Rich Blues. Obviously, Rich didn't like his present, so he hasn't got a receipt, so he's just decided to throw it away. So Steve F1 has made a move then on Ace Man, gets gifted a position from Rich Blues as well, and he's now all over the back of SRI. I've got to say, I do like the livery on that Bugatti. Now, for anyone that's wondering about the cars in this race, they are the Group 4 cars in GT Sport. Although that, I don't know what that is. I'm sure that's on some kid's cartoon. Now, yeah, I've mentioned about these cars. For anyone that's wondering, the drivers don't have to use the same car in every race. They can change from race to race if they wish, and they can have their own liveries. As SRI and Steve go side by side, Steve trying to go around the outside of the hairpin. He's gone in a little bit deep though. That's going to allow SRI to fight back and keep hold of the position, and Ace Man is now going to try and sneak up the inside of the entry to the bus stop. He can't quite get the move done. I like the way the drivers are conducting themselves through these corners, realising when it is not on. The problem is when you're following someone so close, if they hit the wall, there's a good chance they're going to take you with them. Steve now having a look up the inside of the final corner on SRI. Callum still has not pitted yet, I will remind you of that. And Steve has made the move past SRI. SGP still leading, Demon R not too far behind. There really isn't much of a gap between them. Callum Paul Banks in third place, and here comes Steve F1. But I tell you what, that Citroen of SRI is pretty damn quick in a straight line to keep up with that Aston Martin. Is Steve F1 going to go up the inside? Yes, he is. Callum doesn't defend it, but Steve breaks a little early. That could give SRI quite a bit of confidence to attack, but SRI hasn't carried the speed, whereas Steve F1 has. So we're carrying the extra speed into the flat out kink now. Steve doesn't go for the overtake, but SRI is getting very close to Steve. But we're going to have another look at the leaders now, because Demon R is closing in on SGP. The gap is coming down. Now these two pitted on exactly the same lap at the first round of pit stops, so it'll be interesting to see what they do for strategy. They're rolling down the hill. They've got quite a nice gap to third place at the moment. Can't quite, just about see them in the background. Callum Paul Banks still sitting there in third place. Steve F1 still fourth. SRI in fifth. Ace Man in sixth, and Rich Blues in seventh. Now, if you are interested in getting involved in Dynamic GT League, before I tell you, let's keep an eye on this battle, because it looks like Demon R is about to try and make a move around the outside of SGP. However, the Aston Martin is not great under braking, so has to brake early. Going to try and look for a switchback though. Hasn't fully worked at the moment, but they are now just about side by side. No slipstream to either driver. SGP still in first for the moment. Demon R is going to take the inside line of the kink, and it's going to become the outside line of the chicane. Demon R into the lead, but SGP takes it back under braking. So Demon R trying to make a little bit of a switchback move, but he can't make it. The rear bumper of that Audi is just a little bit too fat. Now these two battling a little bit, it's allowed third place to catch a little bit closer as well. Callum, I believe, still has not pitted yet, and we're nearly halfway through the race. Steve F1 still very close to Callum. DGT League SRI looks like he's dropped back a little bit. Yes, he has, but here's Steve on the back of Callum. Two slightly different lines through the fast, left, right, left. Steve taking a very tight line through the first part, but it will be to give him a different exit out of the final part for an attack down towards the hairpin. Now the Aston Martin is very good in a straight line, but By the looks of it, so is the Porsche, but Steve going to try it on the brakes into the hairpin. I told you the Aston is not great on the brakes, and I think Steve F1, yeah, he's pulling over and letting Callum through. He realised that that was not a fair overtake that he made. It was a fair attempt, he just couldn't get it stopped in time. SRI behind him getting a little bit wiggly, but there's a battle for the lead. Demon R going up the inside this time into the final corner, but brakes a little bit too late. I mentioned about the Aston Martin's brakes. He managed to stay on the track, but SGP retakes the position. Now, has Demon R lost too much time to have a slipstream attack down into turn 1? No, it looks like the Aston Martin is going to be good enough on the straight to at least get close. Look at the inside into turn 1, can't quite do it. The Audi is just so much better on the brakes, but SGP has ran a little bit wide. But Demon R has not been able to carry the speed through the corners, so he's going to have to tuck in behind and just keep reading that bloody number plate. This is a fantastic battle for the lead of the race. Strategy could be key here. When will these guys pit? Will one pit before the other? Time will tell. Now it looks like Steve F1 has dropped a few places. I think he may have pitted, but Demon R is really having to go at SGP now, heading down towards the hairpin. He's keeping to the racing line though, probably knowing that he's going to have to brake earlier, and you can tell he really does have to brake a lot earlier than SGP in the Audi. Although SGP's ran a little bit deep, there's a little bit of contact and a little bit of oversteer for Demon R there. The side by side, nope, single file through the bus stop chicane. Now the Audi seems very quick through these particular corners. The Aston Martin, as I mentioned, good in a straight line. So lap 12, Demon R takes the lead of the race. Is SGP going to be able to attack back again? Demon R has made a bit of a mess of the final corner once again. Oh, and Demon R, it's a late move towards the pit lane, so Demon R is pitting earlier than SGP on this occasion. We have a look back at Aceman now, who is on the back of Callum Paul Banks, and there is SRI. So Demon R getting rid of his soft tyres. Also quickly mention that fuel is not in use in these races. Callum Paul Banks struggling a little bit under braking, but he's holding these guys at bay at the moment. So there's Demon R. He's come back out in 6th place with a fresh set of tyres, but there is now 4 cars between himself and the race leader SGP. Oh, as Aceman runs wide over the curbs into the gravel, going slower than a Bugatti ever should. That's massively unfortunate. It's going to damage the paintwork on that car, and I'm pretty sure there's one of the sponsors on his car is CBA, which I'm pretty sure means can't be asked. And I'll just leave that there. Okay, so DGT League SRI now up to 3rd place with Steve F1, who has recently pitted, and considering that he's pitted, he is closing in on Callum Paul Banks quite quickly. That's one of the advantages of having the boost on. But Aceman is attacking Steve F1, and Aceman's going to make the move. Yes, he does. But here's Demon R now. So he's now caught up to the back of 3 of the cars he needs to pass. That's between himself and the race leader. But this is not an area of the track that you can overtake. But he is really rubbing his nose on Steve's arse. Hang on, I don't mean that. On nose to bumper, or bumper to bumper, even that sounds wrong, I'll just leave it there. So Demon R, they're trying to have a look up the inside of Steve F1 into the final corner. He makes the move past Aceman as well. Oh, but loses the rear end, very nearly completely loses control. SRI into the pits. I don't know if Aceman was wanting to go into the pits or not, but SGP has pitted, so Aceman is now leading the race. Demon R though and Steve F1 still side by side, closing in on Aceman as well. Steve looks like he's holding on to the position, whereas Demon R pacing himself. No, he's going for a switchback. Is he going to be able to overtake both of the drivers? Yes, he is. So Demon R takes the lead of the race with a lovely switchback move that may have caught Aceman and Steve F1 by surprise. So SGP, having pitted, is now up to 4th place. Pitted a lap or 2 later than Demon R, so he's now going to have fresher tyres. He's catching these guys rapidly as well. Gaining on Steve F1 through the uphill flat out section, looking to make the move straight away on Steve. So SGP going to the outside, but Steve F1's fighting back with his straight line speed, but he hasn't got the brakes. Oh no, Noddy's getting aggressive. And Aceman has run a little bit deep into the hairpin. That allows SGP up into 2nd place. Now we can see his next target. Callum Paulbanks, I believe, has pitted now, so he is in 6th place and he's closing in on Rich Blues, Steve F1 and Aceman. SGP is opening the gap up quickly to 3rd place as Steve F1 has just made the move past Aceman. Is Aceman going to fight back into the final corner? No, he's not able to, but Steve F1 has ran deep. Oh, and now he's tried turning in a little bit. There's a bit of contact with Aceman, but Aceman is heading into the pits. That's now put Callum Paulbanks all over the back of Steve F1. This may be like taking candy from a baby. Can't say I've ever tried it, but I actually don't think it would be very easy. Callum, he's going to be on the outside for turn 1. It's a fantastic chicane this. It's a little reminiscent of Turkey's final corners, except it's missing one corner, and SRI trying the same move that Demon R made a few laps ago, but not quite able to do it. Callum defending hard. Oh, Callum taking a bit too much curve there. That may make SRI... Well, it's either going to make him think, yeah, I can pass you, I'll wait for a mistake. But actually, Callum's got a better exit out of the hairpin, and he's made the move on Steve F1. SRI is going to want to try and follow him through. But it looks like Steve may be struggling a little bit on his tyres as SRI is now all over the back of him. SGP, look at the gap he's closed up. He's right on the back of Demon R now. The fresher tyres working wonders for him. Demon R is going to be wondering what he's going to have to do to beat the red and yellow motor. Whoa! Well, if SGP does that a few more times, he may end up rolling it. That'd help Demon R. But it looks like battle is about to commence once again between these two. They've definitely been the standout drivers in this event as Demon R once again goes deep at the final corner, but actually gets a very good run, very good exit, meaning he can keep hold of the lead for the moment. But SGP won't mind that because now he gets the slipstream all the way down to turn 1. Makes a move to what will be the inside for the kink, but Demon R won't mind that. It means he gets to defend. But no, he can't. He just hasn't got the ability to brake as late as that Audi can. Trying to go for another bit of a switchback. SGP running a little bit wide, but SGP just a little too fast at the moment for Demon R. Demon R having a sneaky little look up the inside of the slightly cambered hairpin, but he's ran wide on the exit. That's going to cost him a bit of time. That may be challenge over for this current stint because SGP has been absolutely flying since making his pit stop. Steve F1, can you catch it? Yes, he can. We've got Noddy, so we might as well have Bob the Builder as well. Oh, Rich, can you see? Oh, now Rich, I tell you what, that was a nice save. That was a good save there. Obviously, you don't want to be in the gravel in the first place, but nice save. Oh, you're not saving that one though, unfortunately. Rich's tyres may have gone off the cliff. His car nearly did, let's put it that way. I mean, we are on the Seaside, so it is possible. But Steve, after very nearly losing control of his car, is now applying pressure to SRI. Steve having a look at the inside, but as we know, the Astons are not great on the brakes, and Steve once again showing that. SGP's in the pits, and he had the super soft tyre on. That's why he was as quick as he was. So he's done a short stint on the super soft tyre for the final round of pit stops, meaning he will now get the benefit of boost over Demon R, who will be only just realising what SGP had done. Steve F1 into the pits as well. He was on the super soft tyre. Rich Blues getting rid of a set of mediums. So different strategies going on here, and this could work out very, very well for SGP. That might not work out very well for Ace Man. He saved it quite nicely though. Excuse me. Obviously didn't want to damage the paintwork anymore on that Bugatti. So Demon R leading the race, but he knows that SGP has just done a short stint on a very fast set of tyres, benefiting himself all around. SRI in third place. Callum Paul Banks has had a very solid race, up in second. Ace Man's had an interesting one, that's for sure, but he's still in the hunt for a win. SGP, I don't know if he's on super soft tyres now or not. I would doubt it. I would guess he is on the soft compound tyre, as Ace Man is struggling a little bit. I know Ace Man has recently pitted, but it may have been for a harder compound of tyre, and if it was, they do lack pace. Excuse me. Ace Man run a little bit wide, clips the wall and stuffs Noddy in the wall. Get in there, Ace Man. That's exactly what Demon R wants to see. Although, Ace Man, did you have to show him that much respect? He's a cartoon character, for God's sake. Okay, Callum Paul Banks into the pits. SRI into the pits. Demon R into the pits. So, this is the crucial point. Where is SGP going to be? Where is Demon R going to be? Demon R is going to be coming out in at least 5th place. And SGP is... no, it's 4th place for Demon R. SGP is leading the race, so the Steve F1 and Ace Man between 1st and 4th. But there's quite a lot of time between the two of them as well. There's a good 6 or 7 seconds. So SGP's strategy has worked wonders, even with Ace Man stuffing him in the wall. To be fair though, Ace Man, he gave him the position. I mean, SGP hadn't actually got past him, but Ace Man realised he'd made a mistake. He stuffed him in the wall, so he's given him the position. Major respect there. Demon R now though has got Callum Paul Banks, who is looking very, very quick. I'm wondering if Callum Paul Banks may be on a set of super soft tyres, because we know Demon R is quick, and Callum has caught him hand over fist as Demon R is trying to attack the back of Steve F1. Steve's going defensive, but Demon R's going to try round the outside anyway, is he? No, he's running wide, and that's giving Callum an opportunity, but Callum thinks better of it, heading into the bus stop chicane. Wise decision. Very close, these guys, but that's the wall. That's another wall. That's facing the wrong direction. That is disaster for Demon R, and now he's having to wait for Rich Blues to come past as well. That won't have done his tyres any good, and it's put him a long, long way behind the race leader. SGP will be loving seeing the Demon R's are now in last place, as Ace Man, he was on a harder compound tyre, he was on the mediums, he's now into the pits with only, what, 4 laps to go. No, Steve F1 running second, he finished 3rd in Suzuka, I think, if I remember correctly, but it was very, very close at the end of that race. Just as it's very, very close now between Callum and Steve F1, but Steve has got the inside line for the fast kink. Now the hairpin is a good place to attack, and Steve knows it, so he goes defensive nice and early to basically say to Callum, don't even think about it. Problem is, even though Callum is young, he's got a lot of racing talent. So we'll have to see if we can make a move on Steve. He won't do it on the uphill section. He'll wait until the exit of this left-hander, going for a little bit of switchback with a little bit of slipstream. SRI watching this battle, waiting to pounce. Steve is defending that inside with all of his might, sending Callum around the outside. Has Callum gone a bit too deep? Yes, he has. Running a little bit wide, and there's SRI sneaking through. I said he was waiting to pounce, and pounce he did. And trust me, that's a scary prospect. Have you heard his accent? Come here. Well, it's not like that, that was more like, I don't know, something like tech. Come here. Victory. That's good boy pressures. Anyway, so Callum trying to fight back then on SRI into the final corner. And he's thrown it in there. Has he managed to hold it on the track? Yes, he has. He's got a lovely exit of the corner. Steve F1 has ran a little bit wide. SRI now closing the gap as well. I've got to say, this has been a fantastic race all the way from start to finish. There's always something happening, and that's what the folks at DGT League are wanting, and it's what they like. And to be honest, the drivers, they like it as well. Holding on to that third place at the moment. Demon R has managed to pass Aceman, so he's now up to 6th place, but it's a good 16 seconds behind SGP now. Or at least he was, because it actually looks like he's closing in on the battle between Rich Blues, who is catching SRI, who is still on the back of Callum. So Demon R is closing in on this three-way battle at the moment, but to be fair, so is Rich Blues. Callum's got a good run up the hill. SRI might be struggling for his tyres. Rich Blues is coming under a lot of pressure from Demon R. He's going to try and make a move before they get to the hairpin. Side by side they go, and Callum is trying to make a move on Steve F1, but Steve defends the inside line again. So Demon R does make the move. Stingray, I say Stingray, his name is Stingray, but I'm calling him SRI. SRI now coming under pressure from Demon R. This is fantastic battling. Oh, Rich Blues trying to have a sneaky look on Demon R. It's not quite worked though, but Rich and Aceman side by side, bit of contact into the wall. Demon R having an attack on SRI. SRI goes defensive, and just ahead of them, Steve goes defensive into the final corner as well. Callum taking a very wide entry. Demon R trying to undercut SRI. Has it worked? No, it hasn't. But Steve F1 and Callum side by side still, and just behind, Rich Blues and Aceman still going at it. So we got 3 battles within the space of about a second. Demon R is up alongside SRI, and here comes Rich Blues as well. There's a bit of contact. I don't think SRI realised that Rich Blues was there. Steve F1 is still fending off Callum for 2nd place. This is fantastic stuff with only a couple of laps to go. SGP will have no idea what's going on back here until he watches this video. Is SRI going to have a look up the inside? Yes, he is. He makes the move on Demon R, and Aceman sneaks through as well. No, SRI's lost it. Now he's made contact with Demon R. Demon R's on the grass. SRI was sideways. I think Aceman got caught up in that as well. It all got a little bit messy. Oh, and it nearly got messy in SRI's seat as well. Callum, he's got a fantastic run. There's no rest here for a commentator. Callum having a decent run on Steve F1. Steve F1 still defending the inside of the corners. Callum can't make the moves around the outside or go for the switchback because Steve's covering off the switchback moves. This is fantastic attacking and defensive driving. This is brilliant stuff to watch. So as they head through the chicane, plenty of aggression, plenty of faith, I suppose. Callum is all over the back of Steve F1. Steve F1 goes defensive again, but Demon R is now closing in on these two as well. Steve F1 is holding the inside, but Callum, this time all the way around the outside, keeps it on the track. But Steve F1 is fighting back with his straight line speed, but here comes Demon R in the slipstream of Steve F1. Are they going to go 3 wide? Yes, they are. And right behind them, SRI and Aceman 2 wide. So here we go then, the fight for 2nd place, heading up to turn 1. Steve F1's got the inside line. Callum's realised he can't fight it. SRI is getting in on the battle as well. So Demon R through turns 1 and 2 makes the move on Steve F1. No, he doesn't. He's had a poor exit. So Steve F1 holds on to 2nd place, and now SRI side by side with Callum. SRI trying to take the 4th place. Demon R having a look at the inside of Steve, makes the move through for 2nd place. SRI and Callum still side by side with Rich Blues there as well. No, it's not Rich Blues, sorry, it's Aceman there as well. This is phenomenal stuff. So up the hill we go. Demon R's in a little bit of a risky position now. Everybody behind him getting a bit of slipstream. Aceman making a nice move on Callum Paul Banks there. So Callum dropping a position or 2 as SRI has gained up to 4th. Aceman having a look on the inside of SRI. Callum looks like he's playing it a little bit safe, going for a bit of a switchback. Can he make it work? No, he can't. The Bugatti with his 4-wheel drive giving a benefit on the exit of the corner. A little bit of contact with the wall there. Oh, and SRI into the barrier. That's his fight for the second place gone. Callum and Aceman now side by side. Callum, we've seen him make a few nice overtakes in this race already. Can he make another one? He does like to take a very wide entry to try and get that switch back, and he's got the position to do it. He's going to box Aceman in. No, Aceman's braked and he's gone for the pits. As the leader is starting the last lap of the race, Aceman into the pits. Steve F1 though has decided he's going to have an attack. So the fight for second place is still on. Demon R, Steve F1 side by side into turn 1. Demon R going defensive, and here comes Callum. Is he going to try a switch back on Steve F1? Yes, he is, but he hasn't got the traction on the exit of the corner. Steve F1 went a little bit defensive there to tell Callum not to bother, and again, is he going to go defensive? Yes, he is. Goes defensive nice and early, but Callum is going to carry more speed through the corner. Yes, he does. Callum fighting with Steve for 3rd place, but Steve with straight line speed, he's able to hold on to it, and here comes SRI attacking Rich Blues and jumping up to 5th place. Callum's running wide. You do not want to do that at this part of the track, because you'll probably run wide up here as well. He's beached a little bit on the curb. That'll give SRI an opportunity to attack. SGP coming into the final sector. Oh, you know what? I think Rich Blues may have made a mistake. Steve has. Callum has. Everybody has. Callum lost out the most there though. That's massively unfortunate for him. So Steve F1 outbraked himself. Probably thought that was his chance over of 3rd place, but everybody messed up behind him. So the race leader then, DGT League SGP, can he take his first victory? As these guys are still battling, SGP coming around the final corner. It will be his first victory in the Dynamic GT League here at the Dragon Trail Seaside. He takes the checkered flag in a shocker of a car. Demon R's going to finish 2nd place, but we've still got a battle for 3rd. Who will take 3rd? It's 3 wide as they approach the line. Who's he going to be? It's Steve F1. Steve F1 takes 3rd place. So we'll have a look now at the result. DGT League SGP then taking the victory from, well, not from, ahead of Demon R. Steve F1 held on to keep 3rd place, his 2nd in a row. Callum Paul Banks gave it everything he could, but it's only a 4th place today, with DGT League SRI in 5th, Rich Blues in 6th, Aceman in 7th, and unfortunately Nally in 8th with a DNF. So congratulations then to DGT League SGP on taking the victory on a car designed by his daughter, and as SGP said after the race, he can't believe that his first win came in the Noddy car. Oh, you're not on the question of the day yet. You're not finished that question. Oh, God. Do I really have to? Oh, yeah, you're done. All right, okay. What was the question again? Oh, it was, what trainers do chickens wear? I don't know. Chickens don't wear trainers. Oh, I'll tell you anyway. That's shocking. That's shocking. That really is shocking. Anyway, right, we're going to have a look at the current driver standings after race 4. I will quickly mention as well that if you do want to get involved in Dynamic GT League, check out the Dynamic GT League on Facebook. You can message them there. Or you can send a message to either DGT League SGP or DGT League SRI on PSN if you haven't got Facebook. But yeah, drop them a message on Facebook and get involved on the PlayStation Network. Okay, so the current driver standings. So Demon R then leads the way at the moment on 74 points, with DGT League SGP closing that gap down to 12 points and holding second place. Steve F1 is in third with 56 points, and close behind him is Callum Paulbanks on 50. Aceman takes 5th place with 48 points, while DGT League SRI is in 6th on 36. Twilight, who unfortunately couldn't race in this event, is in 7th on 28 points, while Nally, who did not finish unfortunately, is in 8th on 22. Rich Blues, who's very new to GT Sport, doing very well, in 9th place on 18 points. My Bad holding 10th on 10 points, and as I mentioned, a few drivers have not been able to make the event yet. As I said, if you want to get involved, drop a message to the Dynamic GT League on Facebook and get yourself involved. I've been Dave from I'll Tell You What TV, and I'll see you again soon.